But her voice is like a high-pitched version.
Yeah,
so she would just walk around like this and go, excuse me,
It's so good.
I need money for a car. So like, I'll take a photo with you for Instagram if you can give me like $600. Thanks.
Hey guys, welcome to It's Just In, the series. This is a series where, in addition to doing a photo shoot with the model, which we had just done, we also get to sit down and get to know the model rather than just look at the pictures. Today, my guest is Austen Marie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
You and I met through mutual friends, I'm assuming?
Yeah, like I think just mutual friends and the internet.
Yeah.
Like just a culmination of all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
You and I had met years ago, and we
Yes.
did a shoot years ago. That was the only shoot we've done, right?
Yeah, and it was my first shoot.
Oh, that was your first shoot?
It was my first one.
Man.
Yeah, I had like just turned 25 and I was like,
Okay.
all right, it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna kind of start with the basics, kind of get to know who you are and everything. So,
Great.
who are you? How old are you? And where are you from?
Well, I'm Austen Marie.
Mm-hmm.
I am 27 years old. I keep thinking I'm 28 soon. It's coming
birthday
close.
soon?
It's in December, but it's
Okay.
just like, it's to that point where I'm like, all right, we're already there basically.
Yeah.
And what were the other things?
Where are you from?
Where am I from? I am a Los Angeles native. So
Oh.
I am born and bred in downtown Los Angeles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that before. I felt like you were not from here. Maybe it's your name, and I just associated with Texas for some reason.
I did live in Austin, Texas
Oh,
for
okay.
a short amount of time.
you go.
And when we met, I had just come back from Texas, but I always end up back here. But I'm like born and bred Los Angeles.
So, born and bred in LA.
Yeah.
Went to school in LA.
Actually, no.
Okay.
I was. I have a really weird schooling. Like I think I went to the least amount of school as possible.
In LA? Or
Just in
life?
general.
Oh, okay.
I was homeschooled while I lived here because
Oh,
we lived in a
interesting.
really bad neighborhood. So
Okay.
my mom was like, "No way, you're not going to go to school."
Right.
So I was homeschooled, and then we unfortunately moved to a place called Simi Valley, which for people who don't know that's the reaction of that.
Well, my girlfriend used to live in Simi Valley.
Yeah.
So I would like visit her frequently. I
It
never
is-
really knew the history of Simi Valley.
There isn't any. It's Simi Valley
there kind of is.
like long and narrow.
Yeah.
And culture has forgotten it.
I will say it is a beautiful drive to.
Oh, through the like mountains,
mountains
and
and
everything.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we lived in this place called the Bridle Path, which was
Right.
like half of the neighborhood was like horse trails, and the other half was just normal sidewalks.
Okay.
Because I lived with like a crazy horsewoman. So
Okay.
it was like, you know, that girl has like the horse binder.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
Gotcha.
Like that is that life. I am not a horse person. So like,
So from there, so you're saying you finished high school at
so
Ash?
no, I was like homeschooled for a bit, and then I went,
Yeah.
this is like the quick version of it. Homeschooled,
Yeah.
and then I wanted to have vacations. So I went to school. It's a whole thing. I just wanted to have that reward of a
Okay.
weekend, you know, as
Gotcha.
opposed to just constantly being in school.
Gotcha.
And so I went to middle school there, I went to elementary, middle school, and then I moved to Ojai. So we went
Okay.
further up into the boonies. And I ended up going from a middle school in 6th grade to the rest of my 6th grade in elementary.
Okay.
Then I went to a proper middle school for a bit, took a year off doing independent study in 8th grade.
Man,
'cause
I just
we
feel
were
like-
in Italy.
You were in Italy?
Yeah, I went to Italy for a while, and it was like too long.
What'd you go to Italy for?
Just to go hang out.
In 6th grade?
No, 8th grade now.
well, still, that's
we're
pretty
rocketing
young.
through. We have family there and stuff.
Oh,
So
okay,
it was
okay,
like,
okay.
we're just going to go, but you're gone for so long, you might as well do independent studies. I'm like, okay. And I did that. And then I went to like, I think I had just like one semester. So half a year of real high school.
Okay.
And then I'm not rich. My mom just dated rich. I went
Gotcha.
to a boarding school in New Zealand.
Oh, damn.
I skipped like a grade and a half, and because
Wow.
it's a private school, so I was like,
Yeah.
can I just do the harder stuff? And they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then I came back here after like 9 months of doing that, which ended up being too expensive, which is why specifically 9 months is the worst time, because everyone's like, oh, did you get pregnant and have to come home? And I'm
Yep,
like,
yep.
no.
Yeah.
And then I came back, did more independent study, and went to community college at the same time. Was told that if I wanted to pass high school, I would have to go back and make up all the years I skipped.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I just tested out, but I was too young for the GED. So I did the CHESP.
What's the CHESP?
It's for if you're under 18, you can test out of high school. So
Wow,
I
you're blowing
technically
my mind right now.
I don't even have a high school diploma.
Right.
And then I convinced a school in New Zealand to take me because I made some bogus argument and I didn't want to take the SATs.
Okay.
So I made some bogus argument being like, listen, like USC will accept the CHESP and you do like trades with USC or one of the UCs down here.
Yeah.
And I said, so you guys should take me on as an international student. Plus, you'll make tons of money off of me.
Gotcha.
And then they're like, yeah, all right, come on over. So then I just
Wow.
like skipped and went and did college. I took the SATs, but I took it like blind and not caring. Like
Yeah.
I was just picking random answers.
Yeah.
Got a terrible score, didn't care.
Right.
And then I went off and did 3 years of university.
Okay.
Not 4.
In the States?
In New Zealand. And then I came
wow,
back.
okay.
So
So you spent a lot of time in New Zealand.
Yeah,
It seems
I
to me
really
that
lived
you
there.
just were like a kid who were like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore.
yeah.
And I'm not gonna.
And I was like,
or
"See you
I
later."
want to do something. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and like when I was in college, I was already working full time as an illustrator, and I
Right.
was trying to get I have my BA in design, so I was trying to get a design degree, and my teachers are like, if you want work, you have to do this, this, and this, and I'm like, well, my clients, and they were like really annoyed by me because I was that know-it-all who was already working in the field, but
Right.
as an illustrator, not as a
Right.
designer.
Gotcha.
So they didn't like me very much. So I just hung out with kids who got good grades and got their grades skipped. So I really just kind of bummed my way through school.
That's pretty awesome. I never knew that about you, I feel like.
Yeah, I was top of
not
my
that I would.
class for like, I was like 16 and this was my favorite is when I was in community college. I was 16 or 17, I think 16, almost 17 in algebra 2, trying to make up for those like lost points.
Yeah.
And I met a bunch of people who were like in their like early 20s,
Okay.
old enough to buy beer.
Right.
And they really sucked at math, but I was top of the class. So I would tutor them so they would buy me beer.
So you just seem like, yeah, you were just far ahead of everybody your age in terms of like both intelligence and like, I don't know, ambition maybe.
Yeah, I think it's having 2 freelance parents.
I was gonna bet that. I was gonna ask
Yeah.
like, so are your parents together?
No.
Okay.
They're like hella divorced.
Okay.
They hate each other with good
Divorced
reason.
the whole time growing up? Like,
No,
or
actually,
at what point?
they got divorced when I was 10 and they like sat me down and they were like, listen, we're gonna get divorced. And they were like ready for me to cry. And I was like, thank God.
Really?
Good. And they looked at me, they go, what? I'm like, you guys hate each other. And they were
Yeah.
like, well, no. And I'm like, don't pretend. Like, just when is he moving out? When do I go get to visit him and like not have
Yeah.
to deal with this? So.
So like you knew before they knew.
Oh
almost.
yeah, I
You were
was like,
this
just
is a
end
last.
it. Like y'all scream at each other all the time. It's like exhausting.
Do you still have a good relationship with both parents?
Just my dad. My mom
Okay.
is a horrible human,
Oh,
and I'm totally open saying that.
care to elaborate?
She
or?
she does a lot of good in the world, I think, but she's just a bad mother.
Okay.
She's just unfortunately, I think, an undiagnosed narcissistic person. So it's a whole pain. But
All right.
wish her the best, but no, thank you.
So you don't talk much, or
No,
you'll check in once in a while?
I have cut her out like as of about
wow.
2 years ago. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but my dad's super cool. He's like 70 years old and he's like building boats and
Yeah.
carving tiki men and stuff.
Is he in LA or California?
He's in California. He's in Northern California.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a little bit north of Chico.
So when you went to New Zealand, was it both your parents went? Just
No,
you?
so it was like a weird culmination
Why New
of
Zealand?
like, it's a whole thing, but like
Is it a Lord of the
two-
Rings? Were you
the-
that nerd? Big of a nerd?
No. I was more of a Pirates of the Caribbean nerd, but
Oh, please.
the more, I had like my first fanfic was like a self-insert Mary Sue for Pirates of the Caribbean. I was gonna be Jack Sparrow's daughter, and I was
Oh,
like, I'm
shit.
gonna like it's gonna be the movie, and I'm gonna be in it. So
Yeah.
I wanted to be an actress when I was younger. No, I went to New Zealand because my ex stepdad had property out there, so we went to visit, and then we had some family friends who went to a school there. It was called St. Peter's. It still is called St. Peter's. And it's like a private Christian school. No one in my family is religious, but they're
Yeah.
like, all right, like that's just the thing in New Zealand is you go to private religious schools, even though
Okay.
they're mostly agnostic.
I was
in
gonna
that
say, like, what
country.
is the vibe down there? Yeah.
There's some like hardcore religious people, but
Yeah.
they're way
Don't
more.
they have a town called Christchurch or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah. But they're like way more chill than our hardcore religious people here in the States.
So you spent some time in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I've heard a rumor,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say a bad word,
Oh my God.
but I've heard that the word cunt
Oh yeah.
means a positive thing.
Well, it's the Australia slang. So
Oh,
like
is it Australian? I heard it was
here-
New Zealand.
So
Like good cunt, I heard is like a.
it's really like I want to say that like Australia and New Zealand have very similar dialects with some of that stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So
they're, like, very close.
when you say that like someone is a good cunt, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, he's a good cunt. Like, oh yeah.
But
they're
is that still
really,
a curse word down there?
I mean, I think if you say it to like a grandmother or like an adult who is a little bit more, right leaning, they're not going to be very happy with it.
Yeah.
But
so like if a kid said it in school, would it be a problem?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So
it's not like it's not a swear word,
Gotcha.
but it's just not a
super offensive.
It's not that it's rude. Mm-hmm. It's just that like here, if you call someone a cunt, it's like you're like, whoa, you really hate like, me.
Whoa,
which is less than like saying like fuck you to someone. Right. But in New Zealand, if you're like, oh, she's a good cunt, or like he's a good cunt and she's a good bitch, those are like the two.
Is it mostly a male?
It
or
depends.
Does it not matter?
I think it's changing now because people are like, we can use whatever we want.
Right.
And gendered slurs are a little bit less of like a favorable term now.
Mm-hmm.
But so using good cunt, and then if it doesn't have like that precursor, then it's like an insult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That always. I'm glad I got some clarification.
Yeah.
On that. Yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I have two. I have like a weird thing where I'm technically like an only child to my mom, but I'm my dad's youngest, and both my siblings have different moms. So like all three of us have different moms.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're all halves.
Same dad.
Yeah. Same
Three
dad.
Different moms.
3 different moms.
Am I right?
And and none of us really talk to each other. So we're all like this weird, estranged thing. So like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like I have maybe like my dad as a family member and like maybe a couple cousins, and that's about it. Like,
okay.
So I'm.
So what's pretty, what's a holiday situation for you? Do you not even celebrate holidays?
I don't like holidays that much. I like
any holiday.
I love Halloween. I love Halloween. Halloween's good because that was the one time I could like get out of the house and do stuff. But like. And I don't want to paint like a tragic story. I just hate Christmas. Because Christmas was always like, Christmas with my dad was awesome because I'd go spend time at his house. We'd chill. We'd listen to Christmas music, decorate the tree, have this nice time. And for some reason with my mom, it was always like, we're going to go drive across California and go see one of my boyfriends. Or we're going to go do this. Or it's always like this hyper organized, but doesn't run to schedule whatsoever. And it would just stress me out. And I'm like, this isn't fun. This isn't what I want for Christmas. And so last year, since everyone was out of town, I'm not going to like go anywhere because like I don't have anywhere to go. I feel weird spending time with other people's families. I'm like, honestly, it's a day. I'm just not going to celebrate it.
Do you do more of like a Friendsgiving with friends?
I'll do Thanksgiving with my family. Yeah. Like with my dad and like some of my cousins, maybe if they're around, or like go, my ex's family is really sweet. And they're even offering like this year, they're like, come hang out for Thanksgiving. Nice. They live by my dad too. So it's like, we can all get together. But for Christmas last year, I made a really nice blueberry chutney.
Okay.
I bought a bottle of vodka, and I don't even drink anymore. This is like, I'm going to have some nice drinks. I'm going to make some blueberry chutney. I took my blueberry.
What is a chutney, if I didn't know?
It's like a jam, but more of a savory jam.
Okay. Oh,
so
interesting. Okay.
I took the blueberry chutney and I got a whole wheel of camembert cheese, and then I got crescent roll dough, and I put crescent roll dough down, put the camembert cheese in, put the blueberry chutney on top of that, and then wrapped it up and bopped it in the oven.
Okay.
And I just went to town on that for Christmas, and that was my Christmas, and it was a very good Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I was watching some Guy Fieri show and did that. It was great. And everyone's like, wow, that's so sad. I'm like, honestly, it was wonderful. There was no drama.
That's the thing too. Like when people think it's sad when people do things that I guess aren't normal, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
also I think I had some friends who were like, oh, come hang out for Christmas for this, or come do this. And like, I totally appreciate offers like that. But I also just like don't enjoy the holiday itself. So being around other people while it is nice is just going to stress me out more. Right. So I'm like, I would just rather chill. Like I have no obligations for once, and I can just hang out and do whatever I want.
The town's usually dead wherever you are. Yeah. On holidays,
and like there's no, and living in LA, it's not like it's like, oh, it's snowy, I'm stuck inside. It's like I can just go do something and like watch a movie and like hang out. And it's kind of nice. So
how would you describe exactly what you do for a living?
I think it's I kind of hate calling it this, but like as a catch-all, like entertainer, I think is the easiest way to go about
entertainer.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
because I do Twitch streaming, so I'll stream either video games or illustration 5 days a week.
Okay. Oh wow, you stream every day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
I
okay.
take the weekends off.
Yeah.
So like
Oh, yeah,
I used
so-
to not and only have like one day off, but having like a real weekend really
Yes.
helps as a freelancer.
Yeah.
But I used to be a full-time illustrator, and then I just did Twitch as a hobby, and then those have kind of almost switched, which is preferable to me because I would rather sit and talk
Interesting.
and play video games for 3 hours a day
Yeah.
than having to like, work to the bone drawing for
Right.
7 hours and then only have a little bit of time to talk to people. So
Gotcha.
I prefer that.
Do you find it difficult to talk while you're drawing?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I draw really slow though when I am doing it.
Gotcha.
And I still do streams where like I'll draw and talk, and I have days where it's gotten to the point with Twitch where it's a really interesting beast and it keeps changing because Amazon keeps changing things.
Okay.
But it's gotten to the point where I will just blatantly say, hey, this is a sellout stream, and I will
okay.
do dumb stuff, or I'll draw dumb stuff for you guys, or I'll, draw a little like doodle giveaways or whatever once we hit this certain goal and once
Yeah.
we do this. And I started being like almost joke grumpy about it and being like, look, guys, you've pushed me to this. This is what it is. It's
Yeah.
happening. But it seems to be like really fun nights. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so now we have just like sellout streams on the regular where I'm like, I'm accustomed to this life that you guys have given me.
Right.
Let's keep at it.
Right,
And
right.
they're
Well,
like, all right, here's a couple more, $100. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's smart. I think it's smart to just own up to
Yeah.
what you're doing.
But I do that. And then I also, I just started up a Patreon.
Okay.
That is like just to pay what you want, catch all. If people don't want to spend
You don't
$5
have, like,
on
the
Twitch,
tiers?
no tiers. It's
Okay.
literally it's just $1 or more, and it's now kind of turned into I'm just drawing not safe for work cartoons.
Okay, so that actually brings me to a tweet, or actually 2 tweets I saw when I was doing some research. You said you were drawing lewd stuff on Patreon.
Yeah.
What kind of?
I'm
what is
just
this?
drawing cartoon porn up in there. I'm
Cartoon
like, let's
porn?
go. Yeah, like pinups and like getting a little bit more lewd and intense.
Is it actual like fornication happening in these pictures, or just
Some of
naked
them,
people?
some
or
of them are like naked.
characters?
Well, like some it's implied,
Okay.
which is fine.
Yeah.
And then it's getting more and more graphic as I go because I'm like, I don't care. And it's kind
Yeah.
of the same mentality I had when I was in university, where like a lot of people know this because I say it on stream, but for people
yeah.
who don't know me, I call myself the like Jane Goodall of furries.
Okay.
Because I lived amongst them and I like speak their language and I
Okay.
know how they interact and
Right.
like, I'm down with it. Like that's great, but I don't consider myself a furry.
Right. Right.
But I was drawing for them because they're like an amazing group of people.
Sure.
And I was like, this is great. And I kind of made a joke where it's like, well, it's too cold where I live to strip. So
Yeah.
I don't have a good enough webcam. I'm just going to pay the bills by doing furry stuff.
Have you ever considered seriously doing
No.
that stuff?
I
Oh,
have friends who are
okay.
in the sex industry and they
Yeah.
are amazing at it. I am
Not
like,
for you.
I'm too tired.
Yeah.
Like it takes so much, it's so much mental energy
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so much, like I would probably get fired day one for strangling a man for just being rude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just takes so much mental
Ooh, yeah,
energy.
you have to deal with a lot of.
Oh, it's awful.
I imagine you also currently deal with a lot of.
Oh yeah, but it's different when
Shit.
you're not in a bikini upside down on a pole. You know what I mean? I also have no upper body strength, so like all my friends who can pole dance and like
Yeah.
they're strippers, they're amazing. One of my best friends is a dominatrix, and like
Yeah.
they just put in so much hard work, and I am way too lazy to do any of it.
Well, I actually pulled a few of your pieces that you've drawn.
Oh.
I'd like to maybe for you to
Okay.
just you could just swipe.
Did you subscribe to the Patreon for $1?
I will now. In support of you.
Thanks. It is like a catch-all just to support everything I'm doing, but like.
Yeah.
If I have an extra, $600 a month coming in because people like me drawing anime titties, like great.
So yeah, I saw something called Soul on Hold.
Yes, it is.
So what is it? Yeah, explain this to me. Is this
It's a baby of mine that I've had for about a decade, and I'm finally
A decade?
drawing it, and I'm finally working on it because I just.
It's a comic strip book?
It's like a web comic, and
Okay.
it's hosted on a particular website called Webtoons.
Right.
Mostly because I just couldn't be fucked to make my own website or do any of the hosting or coding or anything. I was like, you know what? Fuck that. This has
Yeah.
a built-in like audience. It's great. There's tons of people who are using it. I use it. And it's in scrolling format, so you read from top to bottom as opposed to left from right. I mean, you still read left from right anyway, but like,
on your phone.
But it's just so much. It works so much better.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Is it like 3 frames, 5 frames? Like how is it like a full story?
Oh, it's like a full story. So
wow, okay.
They recently had a contest, which unfortunately I
Do
didn't
you
make
write
it
the
into
story,
it. Oh,
or
I
do
do
you
everything.
just draw the
I do
artwork?
everything.
Oh, wow.
It's my baby. But they had a contest recently, and one of the requirements was that each episode has to be at least 40 panels.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so they're like
legit.
they can be as long or short as you want, but for this contest they're pretty long. So I entered that. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but that's okay. It's because I'm like I kind of want to work on this on my own pace and my own length, and maybe not do it as long as that. But yeah, it's been a baby for a long time. It's a supernatural
What's like the
comedy.
I was about to say what's the what do you call it? The log line?
The
synopsis?
The log line.
What is that? Am I too filmed right now?
It is basically the stories of 2 people who have been affected by trauma in their lives, but it's a very like tongue-in-cheek, supernatural, slightly self-aware, silly comic.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a bit of romance in it. It's just kind of everything.
Yeah.
And since I'm doing it myself, I can make it exactly how I want to.
Yeah,
and
do it at your own pace.
Yeah, it's really nice not having to like worry about anything. But like the Patreon kind of pays for me to work on that.
Yeah.
So then I just draw,
Well, speaking of your drawing, so I've got maybe 6 or so pieces here.
Yes.
You want to just kind of look at it, react, and explain? I just want to know why you love them so much.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is Ariana Grande
and Pete Davidson.
Right, yeah.
I just like, he's so goofy.
He is goofy.
He's so like, I'm really into goofy dudes. So he's like just like really charmingly goofy. He's got a good sense of humor. He doesn't give a fuck.
He's very confident.
He's extremely confident.
Right.
The BDE,
Yeah. Did that start with him?
Yeah, kind of did.
Kind of did, right?
Kinda did.
Yeah, I associate big dick energy with Pete Davidson.
If I was fucking Ariana Grande, I would be the most confident person in the world. Like,
yeah.
And she's just like very, like, she comes off as very like, prissy and put together. But like in any interview, she is like so like quick-witted. She's funny. She has these old videos of her doing impressions where she is so spot on with every impression.
Yes, I think I've seen that.
She's a fantastic actress. And like there was a recent thing that I saw, because I'll just go down a YouTube like hole of her interviews when I need like confidence. With the car karaoke guy, whatever his name is, the singing karaoke.
Yeah, the British guy.
And she just
James Gordon?
Yeah, something like that. And she like rode on his back into Starbucks because he's like, I'll give you a piggyback.
Okay.
And then all the people are like filming them, and she goes, hi, yes, I'm Ariana Grande. Yes, I must be carried everywhere. And like just like doing this whole thing. And I'm like,
great.
That kind of energy is like so good, because she doesn't take herself very seriously, and she seems really genuine and legit and just not putting on any airs.
Yeah.
And she just has a lot of control over, like, as someone who like I studied voice and like my various things where I settled on just being behind a webcam just because it's easier.
Yeah.
Was like actress, singer, I was in a band for a while.
Right.
And so like just hearing like someone who has that much control over their voice. I was a singer.
Oh, okay.
I can't play any instruments.
Well,
I own like 6 guitars and I
you
can't
played
play
your
any
throat,
of them.
I guess.
Oh, that
sounded weird.
That doesn't sound.
You played your voice.
Anyways,
next picture.
Yeah. What else do you have in here? You have saved ones. Oh, okay. You have the one of, these are just like I really haven't worked on
I really
much
like
lately.
the Ursula one.
So that was like a redraw of back in the day when I had like long green hair, longer than this and real. It was an old like sea witch drawing I did, and I did it in a very Disney's like particular style. And I look back on it, and it's absolutely awful now.
Oh, you don't like it?
But no, but I wanted to redraw it. Sure. So then I had this one where I had, because I recently shaved my head completely.
Oh, yeah, this is the one, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to shave my head, and then we're going to like lean into this hard. So I was just kind of doing a redraw that I posted for YouTube.
All right, what's the next one?
The next one is the redraw of the Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yes.
Scene.
Yeah.
This
Jurassic
is
Park.
because I was on stream.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I need a new Twitter header. What can I get? Like, it needs to be something that's like long and like loungy. And I was like, I know. And then I just pulled up the photo of Jeff Goldblum and started drawing this. And everyone's like, what are you up to? What are you doing? I'm like, this is perfect.
All right.
We've got, sexy Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, what was this one? Just wanted it?
I just wanted to draw a thick Santa Claus lady because
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate Christmas, but I'll like it more if there's like a hot, Mrs. Claus situation going on. She's a little bit younger. She's like,
Yeah.
pre-Santa days.
Right.
Before she settled down. I've got one of my GTA roleplay characters just
Which one is
lounging
this
by
one?
a pool. This one.
So this is a GTA. Oh, I see it now.
So I used to do.
chose that one because I felt like it's very much in the
Oh, it's very much in
vein
the
of
vein
this
of everything.
project.
Yeah. That is my roleplay character that I used to play all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Crystal.
Oh, okay.
She is an influencer. So basically, I was just taking the piss out of everything.
Yeah.
She's very
I
much like
appreciate that.
a Valley girl. I used one of the Beverly Hill pre-made skins in GTA for her. So it's very like prissy. It walks really prissy.
Gotcha.
She ended up having a pretty good storyline, and she like started dating one of like the hillbilly dudes, and it was like a whole thing. But she was
Like
like
how you
a
create a
hard.
story for everything,
Oh well,
yeah.
yeah, because I mean it's role play, so it just evolves.
Yeah,
But it started
yeah.
with like I'm just gonna make an annoying throwaway character, and she became like a main character.
Gotcha.
But her voice is like a high-pitched version.
Yeah,
So she
yeah.
would just walk around like this and go, excuse me,
It's so good.
I need money for a car. So like, I'll take a photo with you for Instagram if you can give me like $600. Thanks. I'm an
That's so good.
influencer. And like, so I would just walk around and do
Yeah.
that. And then some people would be like, yeah, sure, here's some money. And I would just scam people in
Yeah.
game. But everyone knew it was me scamming
Right.
them. But they played along, which
That's
is
great.
good. But she's a good
Are there
time.
any more? Or
You
are we
have
out?
Soul on Hold circled with red.
Oh, that was just for me to be like, what does this mean?
What is this? You'll have the online questions. I don't know if any came in, but
Well, I'm a little bit torn because we are kind of running out of time.
rapid fire questions.
Let's do rapid fire questions because I also want to eventually get to the main sort of point of this shoot was about showing skin and how that's affected you online and all that stuff.
I'll be concise.
All right, this is from Acid Giraffe.
Okay.
Wants to know, do you ever do shoots in the Sacramento or San Francisco area?
No, because it's expensive to get up there.
X Gambit 13 wants to know, is this shoot for Patreon?
No.
No.
I draw cartoon naked people.
This is from RJ Snacks, who asks, what are some important changes you've made in the past few years to better yourself?
Ooh, working out and fitness, lifting weights, and trying to actively listen to others.
Good answer. This is from Fifi Tales.
Okay.
Uh,
My girl.
is it awkward / uncomfortable at all to do these kinds of shoots?
At first, yeah, but then I realized that like, it's a body.
Were you nervous today?
It's just skin.
It's just skin. Were you nervous today?
For like maybe half a second.
Yeah.
And then it was mostly like trying to drive over here. It's like initial anxiety. And then
Yeah.
once I'm there, I'm like, yeah, all right.
I agree.
We're
yeah.
here.
Usually, it's like whenever I go on a date,
Yeah.
I'm like terrified.
And then as soon as you
And
get
then
there,
once
you're
I
like,
sit down and say hi, I'm Keith, it kind of just melts away. I'm
Yeah,
like, all
it's
right,
fine.
I'm here. It's over.
Yeah.
All right. So wrapping up. So you're not much of a model per se.
Rude.
You have
No.
modeled.
Yeah, no, I don't consider myself a model, but I enjoy modeling.
Have you done any like full on nude or a lot of skin stuff? I mean, our first shoot involved some implied stuff.
Yeah, I've done basically the implied stuff with you, and then I've done 2 other shoots with a friend of mine,
Okay.
and we've had like implied or just like swimsuit stuff, like on a beach somewhere,
Yeah.
in Malibu. But otherwise, like it's been pretty tame. I've done like proper photo shoots for like Loot Crate,
okay.
wearing
Yeah.
actual clothes.
I feel like I tweeted at you maybe within the
I would have
past
been in
year
one of the
about
boxes
something.
or 2. Yeah. They keep surfacing and I'm like, oh, that photo
Yeah.
from 2 years ago.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately I just want to get your sort of, if you have anything you want to say in regards to people who want to show their bodies or their skin, I guess I should say, on social media or don't want to, any sort of positive or negative stuff you've experienced with it, like
Okay.
sort of any sort of general or specific
Yeah.
thoughts on that.
I think like the thing that I say to a lot of people is that if you feel powerful and comfortable covering up, great. If you feel powerful and comfortable, like, taking off all your clothes and posing naked, great. I'm a big advocate for, just having agency over what you want to do in your body. in particular from my own experience, working online and being just like a woman in any industry that's front facing, you're going to get sexualized no matter what. And so for me, it was kind of a way of like, I feel good when I feel sexy and I can like my body, because I struggled with that for a really long time. And by taking agency over deciding, okay, I'm going to do a nice shoot and I'm going to have control over like photos or how I look. And I'm also going to not shy away from the fact that like my body looks a certain way and that's just what it is, you know, and like really live in that moment and own it instead of just like wishing I looked like another person.
Yeah.
One thing though that I don't really like, and I know it's meant in like a really positive way, but always whenever I post like a photo, even if it's like fully clothed or, you know, butt shots or whatever, it's always like, wow, I wish I had your confidence, or man, you're so confident to do that. Or
that bothers you?
It's, I get where it's coming from. It bothers me because if it was a thin woman doing it or like a model, no one would be like, wow, I wish I had your confidence.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
So it's always this thing where it's like, I wish, and I think other people who are either wrapped into body positivity or are advocates for it,
right,
feel this too, where it's like, it would be nice as like a thicker woman, buff women, like anything other than like the norm of, you know, model thin, that like anytime we did anything, it wasn't like a revelation, you know, like, wow, you're existing, you're so confident. It's like, I like my body. This shouldn't be revolutionary, and it shouldn't be something that like people are like, oh my God, I can't believe she took off her clothes for a photo shoot. It's like, are you serious? Like when you have half naked models up on a billboard in downtown, like it shouldn't just be controversial.
It's sort of implying that, you know, the body type that they're seeing is like, shouldn't be on.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, wow, you're so, and like,
and
that's
so
the other
you're
thing.
brave for, you know,
like saying you're
it.
brave. And I'm like, it's really doesn't take a lot of bravery to take off your clothes in front of a camera. You can do it at home, and it's fine.
It's almost similar to like when people are like, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. Like kind of implying, you know, maybe you weren't as attractive to them beforehand, you know?
It's a weird thing people have with bodies, and like it kind of lines into the whole idea that we don't accept like fat people in like society, but like just having anything different. So I'm on one hand, I'm very happy that like I can represent something that isn't the norm. And I personally enjoy media that has women who look different or look more like me. It's great. More representation is wonderful. More women of color, like thicker women, doesn't mean that one's better than the other. But I think it's especially like also like women who are disabled. So like, you know, we have like amputee models, we have people in wheelchairs, and it's awesome. Like it's great to see that kind of thing. I just wish it wasn't just like you didn't become like a martyr because you weren't skinny and you took off your clothes.
Yeah, that's that's
like the like not necessarily a negative side, but just like I want this to change.
Well, it does seem like slowly but surely things are changing.
Yeah.
And I think that's about all I've got for today.
Cool.
Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you had a good shoot and a good interview as well. I would say the last thing if you want to sort of look at the camera and just kind of give your socials and whatever you want to shout out for yourself.
That one over there?
Yeah.
So I am Austen Marie. You can find me on Twitter at Austen Marie TV. You can find me on Instagram at Austen Marie and on Twitch at Austen Marie, or patreon.com/Austen Marie if you want those anime titties.
How do you spell Austen?
Austen is spelled Austen.
Okay, great.
I like that we're committing to
this. I'm not breaking.
This is great.
You want to end it like this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Stay wild.
And we'll see you next time.
People.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.